The 21st century began with promises of apocalyptic chaos, according to the threat of Y2K. Yet, the day came and went with very little impact. Little did we know of the chaos to come. September 11th, 2001 began as any other day, but that sunny fall morning soon went terribly wrong when two hijacked planes crashed into both towers of the World Trade Center and one into the Pentagon in Washington. A fourth plane, believed to be intended for the White House, was thwarted by its passengers and crashed into fields in Pennsylvania. The world changed that day, and the world would never be the same. 2001 was a year of celebration for Bethel as she commemorated 40 years of ministry. Dr. Bruce Ramoser continued to lead the church to new and exciting heights as well as physical growth and development. However, in 2003, Dr. Ramoser's health was devastated by a massive heart attack, and he had to step aside as Bethel's pastor to focus on his recovery. In August of 2003, Reverend Jimmy Jackson was called to begin his services as Bethel's interim minister. Jackson brought many years of pastoral experience to Bethel and was winding down a successful ministry with the Baptist Convention of Maryland and Delaware. During Jackson's tenure, a renovation of the worship center was completed. The original platform was redesigned and expanded greatly, and a new state-of-the-art audio and visual system was installed. After a lengthy search, Reverend Paul R. Viswatson was called as senior pastor. He had begun serving as pastor of First Baptist Church at Savage for the previous 10 years. Viswatson would begin his ministry on September 11, 2005. Jimmy Jackson would stay on staff at Bethel, beginning his ministry as associate pastor with responsibilities in the area of Christian education. Many ministries would be reorganized and restructured. The Constitution and bylaws of the church were revised at great length, and two new ministry teams were begun: outreach and missions. With the creation of new ministry teams came several training opportunities, as well as the beginning of tangible ministry projects led by the teams. Outreach began to open Bethel's doors to the community with events such as Wonderful Weekend, the annual Fall Fest, Easter Egg Hunt, and the Easter Journey. Wonderful Weekend was a large-scale undertaking that saw hundreds of people filling the Bethel campus and countless lives being touched. Outreach continues to work to bring the message of Christ to our community through their support of worship art productions and presentations and the ongoing efforts of Vacation Bible School, the Easter Egg Hunt, and the Fall Festival. Missions began to literally become the hands and feet of Jesus by informing and encouraging the Bethel family to participate in local, national, and international mission opportunities. International trips were taken to India, China, and Vancouver, Canada. Relief work was done in areas of Mississippi stricken by Hurricane Katrina, and teams traveled to areas of Appalachia and Montana to share the gospel, do construction work, and provide Vacation Bible School. Local mission opportunities are supported and participated in by the mission team, including the Alpha Pregnancy Center and the Open Door Baltimore. In addition to Jimmy Jackson, Dan Conrads was also on the field when Paul Viswatson arrived in 2005, serving under the youth. Dan would serve for 2 more years before accepting the call to a church in Ohio in 2007. He was succeeded by Ryan Strother, who served until 2009 when he accepted a pastorate also in Ohio in 2009. Following a lengthy interim period, Bethel extended the call to Brian Hogan in the spring of 2010 to serve as minister of youth and children. At the beginning of Viswatson's ministry, Mary Jane Daniels was leading worship as interim choir director. The leadership of Bethel felt that in order to maintain a fresh and relevant voice, Bethel's worship style had to progress to what was known as a blended format. As 2009 was winding down, Viswatson and other Bethel leaders felt God's leading to pursue a full-time worship leader. This would present many challenges to Bethel, but the leading of God was stronger than the challenges. In 2010, Bethel called Matt Chaffin to serve as Minister of Worship Arts. In the spring of 2011, Osama bin Laden, the man responsible for the attacks on 9/11, was located and killed by the United States military. A chapter of American history and a certain degree of closure came with the event nearly a decade after the attacks. With many changes, Bethel ends its chapter on her fourth decade and moves into her fifth. Many changes have taken place over the past decade, but one thing has always stayed the same. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Bethel's mission and ministry has remained unchanged for the past 50 years, and it will remain unchanged until the Lord returns.